The morning air was thick, a kind of quiet heaviness that made every inhale feel like work. Commuters hurried through the mist, their breaths shallow, eyes fixed ahead, unaware that the very air they depended on had turned against them. In the distance, a man coughed into his sleeve. A child tugged her mother's hand, her voice soft. Why does the air hurt? Then the scene changed. A slow wind moved through a forest, lifting the fog like a curtain. Leaves shimmered in the light, each one exhaling what the city had forgotten. Purity. You could almost feel it. That first deep, effortless breath after the storm. For years, many of us have lived this same contrast, trapped between exhaustion and the longing for clarity. We wake congested, we sigh through the day, our chests tight not just from air, but from everything modern life piles on. Yet beneath it all, the body whispers a quiet truth. It remembers how to heal. The lungs are not fragile. They are resilient gardens waiting for care. Every cell in them knows the language of nature. The warmth of ginger, the golden fire of turmeric, the sharp purity of garlic, the gentle sweetness of pears, the green breath of spinach, and the rebuilding strength found in salmon and eggs, foods that once lived in balance with the earth, now returning to help us do the same. When these gifts come together, something remarkable happens. The breath deepens, the weight lifts. The fog, both in the air and in the mind, begins to clear. It's not a miracle, it's memory. The body remembering its rhythm, the lungs remembering their purpose. So as this story unfolds, imagine this not as a lesson, but as a return. A return to what your breath once knew, that every inhale can cleanse, and every exhale can heal. For generations, breath was something we took for granted, invisible, effortless, constant. But somewhere along the way, the air began to change. The sky grew heavier with dust and exhaust, and our lives filled with stress that never seemed to exhale. We learned to live with tightness in our chests, with the quiet wheeze that comes after laughter, with the morning cough that feels too ordinary to fear. Inside the lungs, the story is more delicate. Each breath carries particles of the world, oxygen, yes, but also the unseen residue of our modern pace. Pollution, processed food, chronic stress. Together they thicken the airways and burden the tiny alveoli, those fragile sacs where air becomes life. Under the microscope, inflammation looks like fire. The immune system, trying to protect us, floods the lungs with defense cells. But too much defense becomes destruction, swelling, mucus, and exhaustion. Science calls it oxidative stress, but it feels like something simpler. A breath that doesn't quite fill the chest anymore. And yet, the same science tells another side of the story, one that is full of hope. Every time we eat, we send instructions to the body. We can either feed the flame of inflammation or cool it down with the natural medicine found in plants and clean oils. Deep inside the lung tissue, the cells that once struggled to survive are waiting for that shift. When the body receives antioxidants, omega fats, and plant compounds, inflammation begins to retreat. The fire dims, the tissue repairs, and the breath moves again, quieter, easier, freer. This isn't a miracle, it's design. The body was built to recover, to clean itself, to remember balance. If we stop silencing it with chaos and start listening to its quiet call for gentleness, nature doesn't just treat disease, it restores rhythm, and that rhythm begins, quite literally, with the next breath. Nature has always spoken softly, through color, scent, and flavor. But its voice carries wisdom deeper than any prescription. When the lungs are burdened, it doesn't shout for rescue. It whispers for nourishment. And that nourishment begins in the garden and the sea. Ginger is the spark. Warm, golden, alive. For centuries, it's been the friend of breath. A slice steeped in hot water loosens what feels locked inside the chest. Its heat moves through the body like morning sunlight, melting away the chill of stagnation. Then comes turmeric, Earth's own ember. Its curcumin compound quiets inflammation like rain calming a wildfire. When lungs burn from irritation, turmeric cools them back into balance. Garlic follows, sharp and assertive, the purifier. It cuts through mucus, disinfects the unseen, and helps the lungs clear the remnants of stress and pollution. Its natural sulfur compounds are like tiny guardians, rebuilding what inflammation once broke. And then, the sweetness of pears, not just a fruit, but a healer of dryness. In traditional medicine, pears are called the lung's companion, hydrating tissue and soothing irritation with every bite. Spinach, vibrant and green, delivers oxygen's partner, iron, and floods the bloodstream with chlorophyll, the pigment of life itself. Together, they restore vitality where fatigue once lived. But healing doesn't stop with plants. From the ocean and field come the rebuilding allies, salmon and eggs. Their omega oils are the architects of recovery, repairing the delicate membranes that help oxygen flow. They make each breath smoother, more efficient, more alive. These foods are more than ingredients. They're elements of air turned tangible, breath made edible. When they meet on the same plate, they work in harmony. Plants cleanse and open the airways. Omega oils reinforce and rebuild. It's a quiet partnership between earth and sea, one that reminds the body what it means to be whole. Each meal, then, becomes a prayer. Not spoken in words, but in nutrients, a dialogue between the lungs and the living world. With every bite, you are not just eating, you are remembering how to breathe. Science, when stripped of its complexity, is simply the language that proves what nature already knows. For centuries, cultures across the world turned to ginger, turmeric, garlic, and omega oils, not out of trend, but out of observation. People breathed better, healed faster, and lived longer. Only now is modern research catching up to what was once considered folk wisdom. In laboratories, scientists have watched what these foods do inside the lungs. Ginger's compounds, gingerols and shogaols, act as natural bronchodilators, gently relaxing the airways and allowing air to move freely again. Turmeric's curcumin, glowing gold under a microscope, works as an anti-inflammatory messenger, calming the storm that inflamed tissue creates. When garlic enters the bloodstream, its sulfur molecules trigger the production of glutathione, a master antioxidant that helps detoxify the lungs from within. Then there are omega-3 fatty acids, found richly in salmon and eggs. In clinical studies, they've shown the ability to reduce airway inflammation, increase lung elasticity, and improve overall oxygen capacity. Researchers often describe it as oil for the lungs, not metaphorically, but literally. These oils reinforce the membranes that keep every breath efficient and clean. Even pears, once praised only for their sweetness, have gained attention for their flavonoids, gentle compounds that soften irritated tissue and hydrate from the inside out. And spinach, loaded with magnesium, supports the smooth muscle of the respiratory system, helping it expand and contract effortlessly. Each finding confirms a simple truth. The lungs are responsive, almost emotional in their sensitivity to what we feed them. When surrounded by toxins and processed foods, they tighten and defend. But when nourished by natural plants and oils, they relax, opening again like the first clear morning after rain. What was once called home remedy is now biochemical evidence. The data doesn't just say, "These foods help." It shows how they rebuild from the inside out. It's the union of ancient wisdom and modern proof, the bridge between story and science. And somewhere between those two, healing becomes visible. Healing doesn't happen in grand gestures. It lives quietly in daily rhythm. The lungs don't ask for miracles. They ask for consistency. A few mindful choices, repeated every day, can shift the body from survival to renewal. Each morning, begin not with rush, but with ritual. Before the noise of the day begins, pour a cup of warm water infused with ginger and lemon. The steam rising from it is more than scent. It's a reminder of what breath is meant to feel like. Open, gentle, alive. As you sip slowly, imagine warmth spreading through your chest, melting the residue of yesterday's air. At midday, let food become your medicine. A salad of salmon and spinach, glistening under a drizzle of turmeric dressing, feeds the lungs exactly what they crave: antioxidants and clean oils. Each bite restores the flow between breath and blood, between nourishment and renewal. These are not just calories. They are the molecules that tell your lungs, you are safe to breathe deeply again. As evening approaches, bring calm into your body. Blend a pear with flaxseed oil, a simple drink that soothes and hydrates the respiratory lining while replenishing omega fats. The sweetness of pear, the smoothness of the oil. Together, they speak to the lungs in the language of care. Then, breathe. Not automatically, but intentionally. Sit in stillness for a few moments and follow your breath as if it were light moving through a tunnel. Inhale for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. Imagine oxygen sweeping away what no longer serves you. Tension, fear, exhaustion, and leaving behind the quiet music of restoration. These are small acts, but they hold enormous power. Because healing the lungs is not about a single remedy. It's about a lifestyle of remembrance. Every meal, every breath, every quiet moment becomes a choice. To inflame or to soothe, to constrict or to open, to survive or to heal. The body listens. And when we feed it with intention, it always answers with gratitude, often in the form of a deeper, freer breath. For years, Emma taught music in a small city school where the air was never truly clear. The classroom smelled faintly of dust and chalk, and by late afternoon, her chest always felt tight. She carried an inhaler in her bag, like an unspoken companion, using it before every rehearsal. Her voice grew softer, her breaths shorter. Singing, the thing she loved most, began to hurt. One winter, after another round of antibiotics and sleepless nights of wheezing, she sat by her window watching the fog roll in. For the first time, she realized it wasn't just the air outside that was heavy. It was the way she lived. Processed meals, late nights, little rest, constant stress. Her body wasn't failing her. It was asking for help. That week, she began her quiet experiment with food. Not a diet, a return. Every morning she brewed ginger tea with a slice of lemon. The warmth soothed her throat before class. She added turmeric and garlic to her lunches, swapped fast snacks for pears, and started cooking salmon twice a week. It wasn't easy, but it was gentle. And that gentleness was new. Within weeks, she noticed her cough fading. The inhaler stayed untouched for longer stretches. Her energy lifted, her laughter returned. She began walking to school, breathing through her nose, feeling the crisp air move easily through her chest. One evening, while practicing piano, she sang again, a long, unbroken note that filled the room and startled her cat from its nap. She laughed, then cried, realizing she hadn't sung like that in years. Healing didn't arrive in a rush. It bloomed quietly, like spring light through a window. Food had become her medicine, but also her teacher, showing her that recovery isn't about control, it's about care. Each meal, each breath, was a dialogue between her and her body, and she had finally learned to listen. Today, Emma still teaches music, but her lessons sound different now. Between scales and melodies, she reminds her students, "Your voice is powered by breath, and your breath is a gift worth protecting. When you stop to listen, healing has a sound. It's the steady rhythm of a deeper breath. What once felt tight or painful begins to move again, quietly, like wind through an open window. The lungs, after years of defending against the modern world, finally exhale in relief. Every story in nature is a story of renewal. The same way a forest heals after fire, our bodies rebuild after inflammation. It's not magic, it's memory. The body never forgets how to restore balance. It simply waits for the right conditions. And those conditions begin with compassion. What we feed ourselves, what we breathe, and how gently we choose to live. Each spoonful of turmeric, each sip of ginger tea, each moment spent breathing with awareness. These are not small things. They are acts of rebellion against the noise of hurry and the culture of exhaustion. When we nourish the lungs, we are not just helping an organ, we are rekindling our connection to life itself. So pause for a moment. Inhale. Feel how your body responds, how the breath travels through every cell, how even now, without effort, healing is underway. You don't need to chase it, just allow it. Nature does the rest. The truth is simple. Inflammation can be reversed, energy can return, and breath can once again feel like grace. But it starts with attention, with remembering that what you eat and how you breathe are not separate stories. They are one. So from this moment forward, breathe consciously. Feed your lungs what they've been missing. Let each meal remind you of the balance that still lives inside you. And let every breath whisper what your body has always known. You are healing. Healing the lungs isn't a miracle. It's remembrance. When we return to natural foods, breathe with awareness, and live with gentleness, the body responds with quiet strength. Plants cleanse, oils rebuild, and each breath becomes proof that nature still works within us. So today, let your meals be medicine, your breath your guide, and your calm the space where healing begins.